it's been a little sad to see the electorate looking so defeated because there's no way to create change if we don't show up for it. The MAGA movement has like convinced voters to vote against their own interests and policies and people who would help them. And now we're seeing that on the left. We're seeing them be distracted by, things that would prevent them from voting and supporting for issues and policies and elected officials that would be promoting their own needs and help their families.
Hello, Vermont. I'm Andy Julo.
And I'm Joanna Grossman.
And this is There's No Way in Creemee.
Vermont politics, culture, and beyond.
Thanks for joining us.
Hello, and welcome to There's No A in Creemee. How you doing, Andy?
Terrific. We're back in the skate shack again.
Back in the skate shack. Here's the skates for anyone who's watching a video.
We haven't really planned on being back here.
Yeah.
But I mean, why not? It's summer. It's the Champlain Islands.
To me, like right now, anytime we can bolt up here, like we just got to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's so nice. Actually, we stopped in Here's Welcome this morning, and I was telling you, this was the first time I think that I've ever been in there where the islands were their peak season.
Yeah.
It's bustling.
Lots of people. Yep. I kept bumping into kids. It was loud as we got our coffee.
Yeah.
Our breakfast. And we went out to the picnic table, and it wasn't as pleasant as being in Burlington with the backhoe and the diesel fumes. We had to sit beside the lake, a little bit of breeze coming off there. Mm-hmm. So, but we managed, and we'll get back to Burlington soon and enjoy the fruits that they have to offer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure. It is lovely, but it's always fun to be back here in the shack.
That's right. That was our original point.
That was the point, really.
Yeah.
You just had to slag off Burlington while you had a chance.
I did, apparently.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of time there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. What did you do this morning, Andy?
Oh, I got a sticker on. I voted.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have a sticker that says I voted early.
You voted early.
Yeah, I figure we'll be running around on Election Day.
Yeah.
With your campaign, and I probably will not be in the islands for the 12 hours that the polls are open.
Yeah.
And so I went in and voted and visited our town clerk here.
Yeah.
She's very pretty.
Yeah?
Yep.
It took me a minute. I was like, maybe you shouldn't say that. And I was like, oh, yeah.
I went in and the yoga...
Andy's wife.
It's my wife, right. I went in and the yoga people were there. They are upstairs, and one of them said, "Going to see your girlfriend?"
Aw, you were.
I was.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm going to be voting for myself. That's
it's wild.
That crazy,
Right. And you have to
depending on how I feel that day.
Take a picture of it because for whatever reason, some part of your brain will fold the thing up and shove it in the box and go, wait, did I forget to check my own name? Even though you know you did it.
So you did your civic duty and you voted. You voted.
I voted.
How are the rest of the electorate doing in voting?
Well, they're not voting in numbers. They're voting in very low numbers, underperforming 2024 so far. And 2024 was pretty dismal. Way down from 2022. So 2024 was the record low turnout for a state primary, and we are under it right now. That's early voting. So that's an indicator. It's possible people are waiting a little while because they do have so many contested races. It's possible Republicans aren't voting very much because there's really nothing on their ballot.
Yeah. But that was all of that was the case in 22.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a bummer.
Right, and we've said this before, but we haven't seen a whole lot of enthusiasm at doors, and not that that's not typical for a state primary. Everybody's thinking about the beach and their vacation,
right,
and not voting.
Yeah,
it's always been a low turnout election.
Yeah,
but this is
extra low
performing, and I think a lot of expectation was that with something to vote for at the governor level and the lieutenant governor level, that it might be higher.
Yeah. I think that's right. I mean, a lot of the voters we've talked to do seem a bit beat down and they're not convinced that there's a possibility for change. I've had, supporters say oh, but what can one senator do, and things like that. And I'm kind of well, we got to start somewhere. So we've...
Depends on the senator.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just been a little sad to see the electorate looking so defeated because there's no way to create change if we don't show up for it. And that's hard to watch. And the turnout numbers are kind of bearing that out. So.
Yep.
Hopefully everyone shows up on election day. We'll see.
We'll be there, so somewhere within the Chittenden Southeast District.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're planning to record an episode the day after the election, too.
Yes,
so
we are.
we'll see. We'll see, like, no promises, but that's the plan, and we'll see what shape we're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be pretty tired.
Yeah. Like tired, like, from the previous day, but also from the previous, like, 6 months.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I think it'll be fun and cathartic, and we'll get to do a recap, not just of whatever happens with my race, but with the statewide races and stuff too.
Could be totally off the rails, and that sounds fun.
Yeah, I think so.
For everybody.
Yeah. Okay, and then what is the event that we just attended?
Well, I went to a 50th birthday party for you,
yeah,
Joanna.
It was my 50th birthday party.
It was your 50th birthday party.
Yeah, who threw it?
Charity Clark.
Attorney General Charity Clark.
Attorney General Charity Clark.
It was so
Not
fun.
The other one.
Yeah. It was good times.
It was a good party.
Pizza, cupcakes.
Pizza and cupcakes.
Yeah.
A room full of people.
Yeah.
You gave a great speech.
Charity made everyone sing happy birthday.
She made everyone sing happy birthday.
I oddly did not see that coming. That did not even dawn on me that would be a thing that would happen.
Oh, I knew somebody was going to do it.
That is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
You understand people. Who knew?
Well, every birthday party I've ever been to, they sing that freaking song.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I went to summer camp when I was a kid, the whole camp, it was your birthday because I was summer birthday, and the whole camp would sing happy birthday to you. And then they would start going, we won't shut up till you skip around the room. And you'd have to get up and they would just keep singing it until you got up and you skipped around the room.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, I was glad people didn't do that last night. Yeah, so we've had, we've been... we talked a little last week about journalism and not journalism.
Yeah.
And how if you work for like a newspaper or Vermont Public or something like that, you have to be held to certain levels of accountability. You have to make sure that your facts are accurate and that, it's a balanced piece and you've, gotten both sides of the story. And then there's another thing that's like the internet land, and it has blogs and podcasts,
Yep.
That's real. We're a podcast. We have no accountability to anyone but ourselves. Every podcast is like that.
That's right. But we are upfront about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And we do actually try to fact check. We work on that. We've even issued corrections when the couple times that
Sure.
we goofed. Yeah. And, so I guess this is something that came up on my race, but it's just something we've been seeing in the electorate at the national level for years. We've been watching the MAGA movement really embrace these propaganda tools to sell a narrative that is not fact-checked and it's not accurate. And it's, really manipulating the electorate and has brought the right down into this rabbit hole and brought a lot of good people with it, really people who are vulnerable or lonely or just struggling and feeling they needed to believe in something. And we've kind of watched that half of the electorate be really manipulated is the word I keep coming back to, and how it's affected our elections and just the misinformation, disinformation, propaganda machine that's out there. And that was so hard to watch. And I guess what we're seeing now on the left is the same thing. And it's hurting my heart so deeply. And it's not about, well, of course, it's a little about my race. I'm not going to pretend, But it's just hard to see people that I know, in the activist community be so easily manipulated by propaganda, by content that was not fact-checked, not accurate, wasn't asked for comment.
It's one side.
Totally one side.
May not even be inaccurate.
Often wasn't, or extremely out of context, and it's just wild, how that's taken on a life of its own and really is really taking hold on the left. And I'm really not just talking about my race. This is a national thing And it's like I have so many friends on the left who are like, what is happening here? Like, how did we get here? You know, it's not just me that's like what's
Right.
happening and feeling frustrated at all. But we are watching it unfold like across the country, and I'm concerned that it's destroying the left and the Democratic Party. And it's scary. Like, how are we going to progress as a country if we're letting ourselves be manipulated and destroyed by disinformation?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it kind of start at the national level on the right, and then it came to the local level. You know, we've seen the Vermont Daily Chronicle come up, and you know, there was a story about me in 2024. I mean, North Hero has a sign ordinance about the number of signs you can place on your property, and the Republicans exceeded that, and a citizen made a complaint to the zoning administrator, and the zoning administrator cited them, and they had to take some of them down.
Yeah.
And they just ran a one-sided story that my wife is the town clerk, who was not the zoning administrator, had rigged it so that all the signs had to be taken down for my opponent, but not for me. None of that was accurate. None of it bothered to actually fact check it. And
it's just not your character. Like, come on. Like, we're all neighbors here.
Right.
Like, it's such a disgrace.
But we started to, and we all kind of on Facebook started to like weed out people who fell for that misinformation, and it started on the right. But now, last few years I've seen my friends on the left share stories that are not stories. I mean, and I hate to use the term fake news.
I know, but it's like, what else? Propaganda, I guess, is
there's
the
a tone,
accurate term. Yeah.
Style that they use in the news that these people use for these stories.
Right.
They're stories. They're one-sided propaganda pieces.
Yeah. They're stories, but not in the like journalistic sense.
Yeah.
They're a story that someone fabricated.
They sound like actual media and news. Well, media, but they're not news.
Right.
And they're designed to be deceptive. And my friends on the left have begun to share these more and more and more. And it's, maybe I sort of agree with the slant that they're coming at, but it's not healthy.
Yeah.
And it can be taken to extremes, as we've seen.
Yeah.
And it's really starting to come down at the local level. We've seen left-wing equivalents of the Vermont Daily Chronicle popping up and going after people. And you've been part of this. We try not to make ourselves part of the story here, but we do have personal experiences, and we try to observe the larger trends.
Yeah.
And, we've seen this going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely lowered the level of discourse in our elections. And that to me is so tragic. Like, it's like we took a cue from Trump and we're like, okay, well, we don't have to be fair or accurate anymore. We'll just fabricate whatever story suits our narrative or the thoughts that we have late at night that maybe aren't acceptable. And I just find it really sad. And it's like, I have, I'll own, there was this piece that was about me having to do with Israel, which I have a statement on my website that clarifies it. And, anyone who's written to me and asked, I've shared it. But I'm not going to make my campaign about that. Like, I'm running for housing and, healthcare and whatever. I don't want to campaign too much, but, I'm just saying it's so ridiculous. It's not relevant and it's not accurate.
Yeah, how we counter that, we need to educate ourselves about what news looks like. And they were starting to do this in schools when my kids were there. It's just like, being able to recognize when something is factual and when something is not. And I don't know that we've done I don't know, maybe the younger people are better at it because they've been through that, or that's been shut down, or the majority of us are just used to, like, we grew up with news being a somewhat trustworthy, neutral source. And we haven't made the adjustment to that being used and framed for things that are not neutral and designed. And it's not just the story. It can be who they focus on and where they focus on. Like, sometimes they'll just hyper focus on one person over and over again on one or two issues instead of actually covering broadly. Yeah. The other candidates can be left completely alone. You have no idea where they stand. Even
when their positions are far worse on that issue. Exactly. Because there's a personal thing.
They're very strategic about what they highlight and what they don't. Yep. And that is a form of misinformation as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's just goofy. Like, that's why I keep coming back to, we have, journalists in the state. We have Digger and Vermont Public and the Wilson Observer and, organizations that are really trying to get an accurate story on what's going on. And we should be supporting them, especially now when democracy is at risk. Yep. I just feel like this phenomena of, accepting propaganda into our I don't know, our news diet, for lack of a better term, is actively contributing to the demise of democracy.
Yeah. It is. It drowns out the message. Those with resources and ability to own these medias.
Yeah.
And they're getting revenues from commercial sources who want to profit off this. And it's unfortunate. It's a byproduct, I think, of having a news industry that is based on profit.
Yeah.
And until we get away from that, we're never going to actually get to a public service.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's been kind of a downer, but it's the world we're in, and we're doing our best here to, create a platform that at least is as balanced as two people with microphones can create.
Absolutely. And we've seen some calls to support local news lately.
Yes.
There was an initiative, and the governor pushed it out to support local news.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll see more of that. I do feel like the coverage of this election has been a little light.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. From our traditional news sources, and that may be a matter of resources they just don't have to cover. I don't think we've ever had more contested elections in a primary. I mean, I'm not going to say I did the historical research, but we certainly have a lot more contested races in this primary than we've had in recent years, right down to the House and the Senate level.
Yeah.
And we've seen not a whole lot of coverage of it.
Very little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you had an interview with an outlet, and they're like, I don't know if we're going to find any space for this.
And I was like, really?
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed crazy. Like, I don't know. And it was...
You're running in Chittenden County in one of the biggest Senate districts in the state.
Yeah. And I'm not like I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but I'm not like a no-name here. Like, I'm a serious contender, like I might pull this thing off. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a good example, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well, in addition to our tour of propaganda, we had a fun Creemee tour this past few months too.
Yes. We've been balancing propaganda with sugar.
Yes.
And that.
Yes. And that's definitely taken some of the bitterness out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and interacting with everyday voters has been a tonic.
Oh my God, of course. Yeah. Thank you for flagging that.
Doors.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's always very centering to go out and talk to people.
It is. It's funny because people always say oh, it must be so hard to go out on doors. And it is. I've been on over 3,100 doors. Yes, it is hard. But the actually talking to people is not what's hard. That feeds you, it's just all the constantly going and
it restores your faith in people, and it shows you how different this would all be if it wasn't for online media manipulation.
Yeah. That's so real, because what is going on in the blogosphere is not, sounds like a really dated word. But in case we're still saying it, the blogosphere, versus the actual voters, and it's fun. I think I might have mentioned this before, that I've been, canvassing with my friends around the district, and it's really sweet to get their feedback, because they see voters interacting positively too, and it inspires them. So many of them have said oh, this is so great. I'm getting to know my community better and seeing how people engage, and it's inspiring. And to me, I always feel win or lose, okay, that's a win. I've done something positive here, and that helps me. And, the voters, so many people have good questions, or they have shared really personal challenges. I can't believe what some people share with me about their personal medical stories, something going on with their family or their kids. And I'm always amazed that they'll just share this stuff. And I feel so grateful to every single one of them for it.
Yeah, it's so powerful. And you have, you've modified your platform as you've talked to people to match what you're hearing out there. So it's this nice experiment with bottom down versus the top up media trying to smash down what the issues they want to think should be the top.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, that kind of pings back a little bit to last week, how we talked about these candidate surveys and how aggressive and intense lobbyists and special interests are. Right out of the gate, they want to mold you and try to get you to be their person. And I just keep feeling okay, my people are the 68,000 voters in my district, and I'm trying to talk to as many of them as possible. And that's my priority. And honestly, if we can't win doing that, we're doing democracy wrong.
I'm flipping the topic back, but I've never enjoyed media and news. I've been turned it off for years, and people struggle to understand that. But it's like your odds of dying from murder, a plane crash, or a terrorist strike are astronomically low. But that's what you'll get on the news all the time. You'll come away thinking you're going to die in one of those three things.
Yeah.
And I've just come to mistrust what they prioritize versus what's actually happening out there.
Yeah, I think that's well put. It's funny.
We're going to the paranoia phase of this podcast.
Well, less than 2 weeks of the primary.
Oh, yeah.
I think we
Makes
should be
sense.
there.
Makes sense. Wait till the day after.
Yeah, stay tuned for that episode, guys.
Rolling over onto the microphone. Tired conspiracy theories.
Yeah. You know that I've run so many campaigns. I've run 17 campaigns in Vermont, and I've worked on campaigns in 40 states, through Indivisible and Open Progress, and that's not even counting my 17. And this has just been such a lesson in civics and what I wish we were doing better, and it's so not about me. I mean, I'm sure people have a hard time believing that, but it's true. Like, I believe in this democracy project here a lot, and I've committed many years of my life to it. And I don't like to see it failing. It scares me.
Yeah, well, there's a pattern of elections and then like one little thing becoming the focus of the election at a certain point. I think back to Hillary Clinton and that stupid FBI investigation at the end.
Yeah.
That became what it was. And everything she'd done up till then had just been railroaded by that.
Yeah, and you know what? Like going back to this for a little bit, I guess we can't stay away from it. It's just like, it's just so real. But if you think about it, like what scared me about the MAGA movement was how it manipulated the electorate into voting against their own interests.
Yep.
And now we're seeing that on the left too.
Yep.
Like, they're being manipulated into voting against policies and elected officials who would actually be moving forward there.
That's my seltzer bottle. It keeps popping.
Oh,
I have this.
What is some shooting?
And you can see it on video, like a clown-sized seltzer bottle that's been in my fridge forever at work.
I approve.
I don't know who put it in there, but I'm going to drink it, even though it's ridiculous. It's like a huge bottle, and I'm drinking the bottom of it.
I think you're doing the right thing.
All right.
Yeah. The MAGA movement has convinced voters to vote against their own interests and policies and people who would help them. And now we're seeing that on the left. We're seeing them be distracted by things that would prevent them from voting and supporting for issues and policies and elected officials that would be promoting their own needs and help their families. And I never thought we'd see that. I think in 2018, when I was working for Indivisible, I never would have thought that, we would be here. And it just feels like it all fell apart so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So back to
Creemees. Thanks for bearing with us.
Yes.
Okay. So we did, as part of my campaign, sort of like a riff off the pod, we did this little Creemee tour during my campaign, and it was really fun. We visited so many cool places, and I thought it'd be fun to go back to a couple of those. One of the first ones we did was Palmer Lane in Jericho, which is famous for their Creemees, and that was really fun. We hit Mr. Creemee in my neighborhood on Pine Street.
Yeah.
That is just, to me, still the best. So you missed Big Spruce in Richmond, but we'll get there.
We went by it the other day.
We went by it.
And we're like, I can't eat another Creemee.
No, that's right. It occurred to us. We walked by and neither of us were like, no.
You were hitting doors in Richmond. And
Yeah,
we walked by it.
Yeah.
They had it sounded good. It was like a blood orange Creemee, right? Was that the
Yes,
flavor?
I think so. Yeah, it did
sounded
sound
good. I've had too many Creemees, and it's time to start losing the extra 3-4 pounds I put on in this campaign.
I really hope that our friend in Richmond, Princess Emma, got to have one.
Me too.
Yeah.
And maybe even Prince Oren.
Yeah.
After his nap.
That was,
I got pulled away from him because his mom was calling him for his nap.
That made sense.
But he was telling me how much he liked trucks, so you guys would have something in common.
Yes. I really liked the door on South Burlington where we met this young dad and his little girl, and she immediately walked right past me to you, and then there was sidewalk chalk, and you guys were just drawing, and I was like, yeah, that's the vibe. It was good.
That's what I'm there for.
Yeah.
The dogs and the kids.
So yeah, we did so many. Oh, so some of my favorite Creemee stops weren't Creemee places, even though we love all their Creemee
I
places.
had to get inventive.
Yeah, we had so
Not every town has a Creemee stand.
right, and I really wanted to visit the Whale Tails too. I'd been there once, and you had never been. Is that right?
Never.
So we got like ice cream bars from the co-op, and we put them in a cooler, and we hiked out to the Whale Tails, and we had Creamies there. Well, they weren't real Creamies, but that was really fun.
Yep.
We got amazing popsicles at Adams Berry Farm in Charlotte.
That's right.
Oh, and you know what I didn't even have on the list when we did the Creamies at Sweet Lotus, which used to be Charlotte Berry Farm. That was remember?
Yes.
Those were probably the best actual Creamies we had on the trail.
They put their own berries. It was strawberry at the time, but whatever's in season, they mash them up and put them inside the Creemee. Yeah.
And
so good.
It was not too sweet. I loved the level of sweetness they hit there.
Right.
Those were really good.
And let the fruit do the talking.
Yes. Well put. Those were really fun. Oh, and okay, as of we haven't been there yet at recording time, but as of drop date, we're going to get Creamies at Bolton Valley. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. There was also Judy's in Williston in there.
Oh, yeah. Judy's, good call. And also Papa Nick's in Heinsberg.
Papa Nick's in Heinsberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a proper Creemee tour.
It has been.
Yeah.
I think we've hit almost every town except for Underhill.
Underhill, like, if anyone knows where to get a Creemee in Underhill, if you, like, I have a Creemee machine I'm borrowing from a friend. Yeah. So if you live in Underhill and you want to host a little Creemee stop, reach out because we will run, not walk there to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We did hike Mount Mansfield, which was Underhill, but we didn't bring Creamies.
Didn't seem practical.
No, I know it wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
But I still like the idea.
Right. I thought about beer, but I didn't want to haul it all the way up either. Too.
Yeah. So there's so many. I know. I kept thinking of like, well, I don't know, we could have brought like candy. It's not the same.
Yeah. I mean, we have dehydrated meals that we eat when we backpack. They need dehydrated beers.
Interesting.
We are keeping a list of potential business ideas, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right.
I love it.
Put it on the list.
Okay. Sure. You have a running list of what we're going to do after this campaign, and it is ridiculous. Maybe we'll read that out at some point. Okay, so that was the Creemee tour. It was really fun. We are continuing our rebroadcast series of candidates, and I really like this candidate that we interviewed this week.
She was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your jury's out for you.
Yeah. I feel like the Creemee order was just not as sharp as it could have been.
Oh, can I get another shot at that?
Yeah. What's your Creemee order, Joanna? We're rebroadcasting Joanna's campaign announcement. She launched on this podcast.
Yeah.
Way, many months ago.
Yeah.
Yes, she was the only one to launch on this podcast, but not for trying. We thought we had a couple statewides that might be willing to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
They wanted the bright lights and the big stage and all that stuff. So we got some like the day after they launched.
Yeah.
But we didn't get any launches on this time. Next time, 2028,
they're
all going to launch on There's No A in Creemee.
Yeah. I think they should do it in the skate shack.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how we'd fit that, but we'd make it work. Yeah. Future candidates, if you want to launch on There's No A in Creemee, come find us.
Word.
What
is your Creemee order, Joanna?
Oh, right. Okay. So, my favorite was the maple coffee twist with rainbow sprinkles at Mr. Creemee. Didn't I say that last time?
Yeah. So it hasn't changed.
No.
Well, what's the point of this?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So we're rebroadcasting my launch episode, and it's funny. It just seems like so long ago now, and my talking points have gotten punchier, and I've learned so much about what people need and really need me to fight for, and so that's all gotten sharper. But it's still. I'm so happy I got to launch here. That was so special to me.
It was a good episode.
Yay!
I got to interview you.
Yeah, that was really weird and really fun.
Yeah, it was hard not to abuse that power, but I think I held it in check.
You guys will have to decide for yourself.
Well, you don't know what's going through my mind, so you don't know that I held it in check. I did.
We really hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Okay, we have a big announcement here on There's No A in Creemee.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. It is not coming from me.
That's right.
It is coming from Joanna.
Okay, folks. So this is real. This is not a drill. I am running for Vermont State Senate in the Chittenden Southeast District. And I'm really excited to be sharing this with our podcast listeners. I love Vermont. I'm a Vermonter by choice. And, having come here has really been an extraordinary experience for us. And I think one of the things that I love so much about Vermont is we just have really extraordinary policies that take care of each other. We're all about taking care of each other. And we have programs like Dr. Dinosaur, which has been really important to my own family. We protect reproductive rights, shield laws, gender affirming care. Now we're showing up for our neighbors to prevent them from being illegally detained from ICE. We care about each other and we show up for each other. And I got to tell you, those things are all amazing and special. But they're no good for our kids if our kids can't afford to stay here in Vermont, if they can't be here to take advantage of all of that we've worked so hard to create for them. And, over the past few years, really, I've been talking with folks all over the district, parents, grandparents, reps, select board members, school board members, all kinds of local leaders. And, what I've been hearing really loud and clear is that so many of us have a 30-year-old kid in their basement because they can't afford to stay here and find a path forward to survive and thrive here. I can't tell you how many families have told me their kid left Vermont because they couldn't afford to stay here. And I want Isa, my kiddo, to be able to stay here if they want. And we need to be able to create a path forward for the next generation, not to mention this generation. A lot of Vermonters are really currently struggling, and we need to be able to find a pathway forward for them. And I really want to be able to leverage all the relationships I've built at the municipal level and the state level to really build a team and, regional alignment on these kinds of issues. My family has one house and one car, and I want to make sure families like ours are represented and that we're creating space for people like us in Vermont. So, I'm running for Vermont State Senate.
Good for you. It's an adventure. And
you would know.
I do know. I know. It's a difficult thing to ask of an individual, and it's something that we need more people to do. And we've been talking about it for a few years. As long as I've known you, we've been talking about the importance of running for office.
Yeah.
And
although it's never something I wanted to do myself.
No, I was surprised that evolution came around. I just always thought of you as the campaign manager. But
yeah. That always felt like the right role for me until pretty recently.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So I have some questions for you. I get to flip the table. So you get to be my guest, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
But I think a lot of people may be listening to this and wondering, what does this mean for the podcast?
Yeah.
And we want to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Address that first and foremost.
Yeah.
That this isn't going to change the podcast.
Absolutely.
And this is not going to become a podcast about Joanna's campaign.
Yes. This is not going to be my personal campaign platform.
No,
We're just not.
We thought it would be kind of fun to just cover the mechanics.
Demystify campaigning.
As much as we can of campaigning, because there's a whole rhythm to it and things you go through as a candidate and experience that a lot of people don't know. Yeah. And it's kind of important to know. It's difficult. I was standing at the polls yesterday with someone running for select board. Yeah. And it was so nice when people would come by and just look at everybody and say, thank you for stepping up and doing this. Because we need more of that. Because it is hard to run for office. Yeah. And we need to recognize that there may be candidates we don't agree with. That's the point, right? Yeah. For this to work, a number of candidates need to pop up, and we need to have conversations, and you decide who you agree with, and then you vote for them.
Yeah. I loved being a campaign manager because I loved being able to help people through that process and support them. I loved being a campaign manager. And one of the reasons I stepped into party leadership was specifically because there were so many down ballot candidates who couldn't afford to hire a campaign manager. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to help them out. And I loved doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do think it would be really fun to use the podcast to demystify the process a little bit. And win or lose, if other people learn a little bit about campaigning through my journey, I think that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do a little bit of that, but we'll still have guests on. We've got plenty of other statewide candidates that are running. Mm-hmm. We have some episodes coming up about healthcare and housing. Yeah. Some really exciting conversations that I'm looking forward to. So all that'll happen. Yeah. We'll still be opinionated people, as we always have been. And real. Yeah, take us or leave us for that. Yeah. But yeah, it won't change the podcast. We're gonna this episode, we're going to talk about your candidacy and why you decided to run.
Yeah.
And then we probably won't circle back to that specifically from here on out.
Right. That's right.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm Andy's guest now.
Joanna Grossman. My first question for you is, you have been a campaign manager for a really long time, and you love that job.
I loved it.
What made you want to step from behind the campaign manager clipboard into the candidate's spotlight?
I mean, so many things, but also like not any one thing in particular. It was kind of like a really long journey. So like, I mean, I've been involved with campaigns. I worked for Indivisible for 2 election cycles. And then I started my campaign services agency here in Vermont because I had friends here who were like, hey, we need help here in Vermont. And I loved that work.
You were early in on Indivisible.
Yes, that's right. So I worked for Indivisible in the early days. And actually, I was working there when we took the country back from Trump. And I'm really hoping we'll do that again. And so, then I started getting involved in campaign management, more specifically up here in Vermont. And when you work on that many campaigns, people ask you all the time, like, when are you going to run? When are you going to run? And I always said, never. I never want to run. And I totally meant that. And I really felt that like really deep in my core. I was like, no, like, I think my candidates are crazy. Like, they're amazing, wonderful people, and I want to support them, but I don't want to do that. And that really started to change, I would say, maybe about a year ago, a little over a year ago, when I started watching the cohort that came in after we lost in the 2024, after we lost 26 seats in the Vermont legislature, and seeing the changes in how issues were being handled in the State House, not just by the folks we lost to, but also by the Democratic caucuses themselves. And it was hard to watch how education policy specifically was handled. I really didn't like how Act 73 was forced through by so many Democrats. That just didn't feel right to me. It felt fast and like there hadn't been enough public input, and like it simply wasn't student-centric, family-centric policy. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, we've taken more public input on changes to parks in Burlington than got to go in through that law. And Phoenix Books hired me to fight Amazon. And as you know, we won our first round with them, which was really exciting. But it also really opened my eyes to how vulnerable small businesses are in Vermont to the literal oligarchy. Like, we have an oligarchy now. We have these big companies that are like helping Trump build a ballroom. It's crazy. And our little businesses aren't protected. There's not a lot of folks who are really fighting for them. And I really want to step up and do that. And I feel like, I know a ton of things we could be doing, but it does take a little bit of courage. But it's really important right now to claim Vermont's economic independence, because if we don't, we are just so vulnerable to fascism. It's really scary. So that's a long answer.
No, that's what politicians do, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, that's terrifying.
I first got to know you just a little bit before you became my campaign manager. You were the chair of Chittenden County Dems.
Right.
And my district was Chittenden County. It was called the Grand Isle District, but it touched on a lot of Chittenden County. And you quickly found me, and you seem to be kind of everywhere in the county talking to people in that role.
Yeah,
I take it very seriously. What lessons have you taken from that to apply to this run?
Oh, being county chair was like amazing and torture at the same time. But I have always had this sort of like camp counselor organizer like streak in me where I was like, okay, like, we've got 19 municipalities in the county. I'm going to get to know all our town chairs and all our reps, and I'm going to get us all together, and we're going to help each other. And we did do a lot of that. But what I learned is that this was not like a blast email situation. It meant like meeting people in their town and having coffee or a beer like in their place. And when I first started to realize that, I was a little bit like, oh, wow, that's going to be a lot. But it was like so rewarding every time. And it really taught me how invaluable those peer-to-peer conversations are like in real life. And getting to know all these like select board members and school board members and town chairs and local activists, even small business owners, all especially for the Amazon campaign. It's just been incredibly rewarding and revealing. And it's an incredibly diverse county, and I just love seeing all the different little parts of it. And yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
I don't remember what my question was, so it could have. I don't know.
But it's been fun, and I've loved getting to know all the I've
it's
met
a huge
folks.
county.
Yeah.
That's your Senate district would not be that entirety of that district.
It wouldn't be.
County. Yeah.
So for example, I really took Milton under my wing. I loved Milton, and that's not going to be in my Senate district, but I still have a real, soft spot for them. But getting to know the folks in Shelburne, or I got to know folks in Heinsberg, all over the county, folks I didn't, know, places I didn't visit before that are just inspiring. Yeah.
Then you wanted to take a little break from that, and very quickly ended up not as an organizer for political parties, but fighting the Amazon facility in Essex through your job at Phoenix Books.
Yeah.
What did you take from that experience? What are you seeing that Vermont businesses are not getting for support that they desperately need? And I think if a lot of people are wondering, they see you, they're like, that woman looks very familiar. Yeah. It's probably because you've been on TV a million times with these Amazon stories.
Yeah. So I'll tell a little bit of the story for listeners who may not have been listening back then. So I had my campaign services agency for a while, and yours was the last campaign that I ran through that brand. And then after our race, I felt like, all right, I need to do something a little bit different. And I was looking around, and I got in touch with Phoenix Books, and I've known them for a while, and my family knows the store well. And I really had in my head that I would just be a bookseller, working on the floor. I've done that before, and I think it's a cool gig. And so I reached out to them, and they were kind of like, "Oh, you're available?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then they told me that Amazon was planning this enormous same-day delivery facility, spitting distance from their Essex store. And they said they wanted someone to run a campaign to fight them. And I was like, where do I sign? It just was they were like, we thought you wanted to do something different. And I was like, no, I want to do this. And it was
your
cool.
5-minute break.
Yeah, that's right. It really was it just spoke to me so deeply. Yeah. My husband and I met working in a bookstore, and he's an author, and my kid is a voracious reader. And it's just we're definitely part of the literary scene. And so that was really exciting. And what I learned from that, it was cool because I got to know all these little shops and businesses all over the county and see the world through their eyes, and how vulnerable they are, and how they've oh my God. They've just they've taken on so much risk to create something new that is a third space for our community, often something that brings joy to people, it makes our communities beautiful. I think about Church Street, or, so many of the little strips around the county that are just have this charming little, Jericho with Ale and Bean, or Shelburne and Lying Pig Books. Obviously, I like bookstores, but I like other kinds of shops too. And they just really beautify the community, and they are really vulnerable because Amazon could still just pop up anywhere. And with a same-day delivery environment, a lot of people could really change their behavior. And I really feel like it's the state's responsibility to show up for our businesses. And we've got Amazon, supporting ICE, and we've got our little local businesses paying their property taxes, sponsoring our Little League teams, sponsoring our pride parades. We've got to show up for them and get their backs.
Yeah, I think we've all been to places where every block is the same. It's the same chain stores you go, right? And the really cool places, if you think about in the world, are where we have independent stores everywhere.
Yeah.
And Vermont has that going.
Yeah.
But they don't get a tremendous amount of support. There aren't a lot of programs to really help small businesses grow and thrive in Vermont.
There aren't. And there's what really surprised me, there are a lot of business and business adjacent trade organizations, but there's no one that's really aligned around supporting small retail.
Right.
And there are a ton of small retailers in Vermont, and they really do need support.
Yeah, that's something we wish we could do more of in the RDC world, but it's just, it's not our lane.
Yeah.
All right, you've been a candidate for about 16 minutes now.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to your former candidates that you have managed at this point?
So much.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
So, I mean, listeners who heard last week's episode with Ryan might want to re-listen to one part of that conversation and it'll click into focus. But yeah, I'm sorry to you.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Chris, Ben, everybody. Like, I'm just like, it is so hilarious. Like, I totally thought I like knew everything and that I was super supportive and I got it. And like, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is like, feels really exposed and vulnerable. And it's really hard to not take things personally. And I have to like, it's really hard to like pull my candidate hat off and think, okay, if I was my campaign manager, what would I be saying to myself?
Yeah.
That's like not easy to do.
No.
Yeah.
It's a giant data collection. So like if you have a bad interaction as a candidate and you tell your campaign manager that, they're like, okay, so check them off as not supportive.
Right.
But like, yeah. As a candidate, you're like, this person really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, right?
Yeah, but they hate me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's, you have to not internalize it. And so, yeah, I would always say to my candidates, it's not personal. It has nothing to do with you.
It was good advice. It really was.
Yeah, but it is.
But I'll take your apology.
Good. I'm glad. And I hope everybody else does too. I mean, not just my client candidates, like so many candidates. Yeah. And it's really different. And I feel grateful to all of you really for showing me it's possible.
So listeners to this podcast, we've talked a lot about Act 73. You've expressed some concerns about forced consolidation, but let's not take that for granted. So we want to talk a little bit about some of the concerns you have around the consolidation plans that have come out so far.
Yeah, I have major concerns about it. I mean, as I said earlier, I feel like there was not adequate input into that. I also, a lot of school districts in Chittenden County have already consolidated fairly recently and are really, reeling from the prospect that now they have to do it again when they feel like they've really done the work. But there's really so much more there. I mean, the idea, even outside of the county, like the idea of closing rural schools when we know already, like we need to have more folks moving to Vermont to meet our workforce shortage. I just don't really understand why we're saying, yeah, we need you to move here, but we're going to close your school or we're going to take it over. That's not a welcome message to new families. It's the opposite. And they also have to deal with, these staggering housing prices. So it's like, why are we making it as hard as possible for families to want to move here? I really don't understand that. And I also feel like the messaging from the administration on this, I felt like has been dishonest. And that is frustrating because, they sent out mailers saying that Act 73 is going to lower your property taxes. But that is not proven. There's no data to support that. And the Education Redistricting Task Force that came out of Act 73 published a report that said exactly that moving around district lines is not going to lower property taxes. One of the really great things that came out of 73 was the report from the Department of Tax that showed that second homeowners tax actually could do that. So if we're going to talk about, lowering taxes, we should be real about how we can really fill the education fund and how we can do that. The other thing, one of the other big findings from that report, and we've talked about this before, is taking down healthcare costs. So I feel like, why are we wasting time gaslighting and pretending one thing's going to work when we need to get down to business on lowering healthcare costs? So I feel like at the end of the day, students and families want to know that their communities are making education policy that has their best interest at heart. I do not want the state legislature getting, bogged up in local education issues. That seems nuts. This is a community-based issue. We need to put families and students first.
So our last campaign was a general election. So we were up against a Republican, and that's sort of easy to draw that contrast. You're going to be in a primary.
Yeah.
And primaries are about the direction of the party.
Yes.
And you have lived this movie for the last several years. You've been a leader in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, that's right.
How are we doing as a party?
This is hard to say. It's usually something I say, one-on-one, and I usually get a lot of agreement on it, but the Democratic Party is lost. It's so lost, and it's been so hard to watch. And the reason that I stepped up into leadership was because I wanted to fix it so badly. I mean, I heard from so many friends and people feeling like you telling me, great people who wanted to run for office or want to get involved in campaigns or just be a part of democratic values. They wanted to have a place in the party, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to run for county chair. And I did. And I managed to win. And, I did my best during that time, but pushing us forward was really hard. There is an incredible amount of entrenchment in protecting the status quo. Howard Dean called it an incumbency protection agency on our show, right?
He did.
Yeah, and that's not what this is about. And I really believe in primaries and that if nothing else, it forces the conversation, right? We should be talking about what we want our elected leaders to be standing for. And if that is the only thing that comes from me running, I'm really okay with that. And I just think I think it's great for people to be getting into primaries. And I've been telling people that for years. I've had so many when I had my agency, I had so many candidates come to me and say, I want to run, but I'm waiting for an open seat. And it just broke my heart every time. I said, just run, And so I'm glad I get a chance to walk the walk.
Who do you want to bring back into the Democratic Party? Who would you target? Young people, middle class? And who are we missing that we need to be reaching?
Oh my God. It's totally lame to say everybody, but that's what I feel in my heart. The way the party works for folks who aren't aware is that every other fall, we have something called reorganization. We call it reorg for short. And reorg is when we elect the party leaders at the local, county, and state level. And I wanted people in Chittenden County to really show up for our reorg so we could get some new blood in. And so I texted 10,000 voters in the county and talked to them about the Democratic Party a little bit and encouraged them to show up. And I've never seen so many Democrats angry at a Democratic leader texting them. I've done a lot of Democratic engagement texting, and I've never seen anything like that. And it was a lot of folks who felt left behind. A lot of folks who felt like they couldn't afford, like I said before, they had a kid who couldn't afford to stay in Vermont, or they felt like their demographic wasn't supported. A lot of working class folks who, I would hear a lot of folks saying, oh, I used to be a Democrat, but I left the party. That's always a little bit heartbreaking. Yeah. And I just really want to make sure that we're not, this is hard to say too, but I don't want to be just the party of the elites. And I think that is the perception right now. And I appreciate Democratic donors. Thank you for supporting democratic values, but we need to be supporting, vulnerable folks, people who are really struggling to make ends meet here, folks who feel like they're being pushed out, folks who are vulnerable. And that there are people like that in every single corner of this county.
So you're in a district that has 3 incumbents. The Chittenden Central District had 3 incumbents as well, and we had two candidates come out. Then we have since had one of those incumbents decide not to run.
Yeah.
So there's an open seat there. We don't know what will happen in your district, but if you are running against 3 incumbents who decide to run again, some people might say that contested primaries represent that the party is in chaos. What would you say to that?
The only way out is through. I just think that the Democratic Party is struggling, and to pretend it's not isn't doing anyone any favors. And it's certainly not doing the party any favors. It's not doing Vermonters any favors. I don't even think it really does the incumbents any favors. I mean, the Democratic Party is lost, and it is struggling to find its identity, and having primaries gives us an opportunity to work that out in a way that's civil, that we get to have, that's what democracy is, right? We get to have these leadership conversations and transitions in a civil and respectful way, ideally. That's what democracy is all about. And I mean, I do think it's kind of cool that I get to kind of catalyze or facilitate that process. I'm proud of that. And it's nothing personal against the incumbents at all. I mean, I feel like I'm running against the status quo and for the next generation. I really feel like we need to pave the way for the next generation to survive and thrive here. And we're just not doing that.
What most excites you about running?
Oh my God, I can't wait to get on doors. I can't wait to really talk to voters. I spent a lot of this time, that I've known, but it hasn't been public, talking to a lot of the insiders. And I know you all listen to this podcast, no offense, you're all great. You've given me amazing advice and support, and I really appreciate that. But I really want to get out on doors and talk to voters who aren't insiders and find out a little bit more about what they need and how I can support them.
What's the scary part?
All of it.
All of it. Yeah.
The emotional risk involved is scary.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think I'm the most scared of is just the idea of it's a lot different that it's my name.
Yeah.
But it's becoming less scary by the day.
Nice.
And it's becoming more exciting. And I'm just really grateful to everyone who's been supportive so far. And I can't wait to talk to every single one of you. And if someone's listening and you want to learn more, feel free to get in touch.
Joanna Grossman, what is your Creemee order?
Oh my gosh.
I think I know what this is, but I couldn't say with 100% certainty.
It's funny. I kind of forgot that I would have to answer that question.
It's a hard question because Lauren Maloney asked us when we were on.
Yeah.
Yes. What happened this week? And I froze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm freezing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of a pun there, but it wasn't unintentional.
Little pun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My Creemee order. Well, as you know, I'm extremely fond of Mr. Creemee right here on Pine Street.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Have you mentioned this on the...
1,000 times.
Right.
But there's lots of other Creemee stands around the district, and I really hope to hit all of them during the campaign. But, okay. I really they do this coffee and... Wait, was it coffee and maple?
That's what you told me.
Yeah, it was coffee and maple, but it's weird. Now I'm wait, it wasn't coffee and chocolate, was it? But no, it was coffee and maple. And I like sprinkles, and I do like the chocolate. Oh yeah, it was. I do like the chocolate sprinkles for the flavor profile, but I really like the rainbow because they're so pretty. So it's I've gotten both.
Right.
So I have to have sprinkles, but I could go either way on which sprinkles.
Team Sprinkles.
Team Sprinkles, get it in a cone. And I can really house a Creemee now. I've really had quite a journey.
Yeah, you've done pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last one I really like.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about it.
You do better when I'm not watching, evidently.
But were you? Oh no, that was with my in-laws. It wasn't with you.
No, I've yet to see you eat one 100% clean, but you were pretty close last time we went out. A few trips.
I did a really good job last time.
Sure.
Yeah. I did. I'm really proud of it.
I believe you.
I feel like my Creemee consumption is going to be really well documented the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll be able to hold me to it.
Yes. Well, it's, you eat a lot of bad food on a campaign. Something you got to watch.
Oh, I thought you meant me personally because, as you know, my eating habits are wretched.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
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 Well, Joanna Grossman, thanks for joining us on your own podcast.
Yeah.
And really, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you for stepping out and taking this on because it's a difficult journey, but it's a good one, as you know.
I'm really excited. Thanks for interviewing me.
Of course.
All right.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode.
Thank you all for listening.
Follow us between episodes for the latest updates on our socials at There's No A in Creemee on Instagram, Substack, and Blue Sky.
And catch us on our next episode of There's No A in Creemee, Vermont Politics, Culture, and Beyond in Apple Podcasts and Spotify.